I am at Silverstone today. Quite a noisy place, quite an exciting place, a place full of power and speed, because it's a racetrack, home of British racing. And I'm here today for something very different to what this is known for. Because today, I'm at an event called Fully Charged Live. And if you don't know what Fully Charged is, it's an online TV show set up by part-time mechanoid Robert Llewellyn. He of all kinds of things off the telly, most notably Red Dwarf. It took me a while to get used to seeing him as a human. But I've been watching his show now for a year, 18 months, and it's fed me all kinds of interesting information about the rise of EVs, electric vehicles. And it's turned into a whole kind of, it's not quite a cult, but this is the first time they've done it live. And what's proved really interesting is just how popular it is. They've actually been clearly overwhelmed, not in the way it's not been organised, it's been organised very well, but by the sheer amount of visitors. I don't think they were expecting more than 4,000 people to show up on day one. And they brought together all kinds of, it's almost like a museum of the show, because there's lots of props and things, as I knew there would be, from different episodes. I've geeked off over many lunchtimes, because the show doesn't just talk about cars and the revolution of car design that's coming, it also talks about the implications of future energy. And Robert's talked to all kinds of people who are generating the power, adapting the power, designing all kinds of uses of clean energy. And although Robert himself describes himself as not a kind of conscious environmentalist, that is the implication of all this technology. When you start thinking about green energy, when you start thinking about clean ways of living, it just immediately connects to the rest of your life practically. Straight away you start thinking about, where do I plug my car in at home if I want an electric vehicle? And it immediately connects to why. Why do I want an electric vehicle? It gets philosophical straight away, and that implies the whole circle of life on Earth. It just sort of does. But this place is very inclusive. I was very intrigued to see who would be here. It is kind of pleasingly geeky, with people talking about kilowatt hours and ranges and stuff. But it's a whole bunch of normals. If you don't count things like puppet characters. Hey man, is it, who are you guys? I don't know who you are. Edgar, hi Edgar. Okay, alright, cool. No, probably not many right now, that's a very, very, shake your hand. Well, I think I'd like to go away to a cooling off period. You're a very... 1% of the original price. Okay, well, I'm negotiating with... Oh, well, if you said that up front... Okay, that's it. Well, yes, I'm going to go away and talk to my broker. I'll be back. No, I will. No, I'll be back. It's great. Thanks, guys. Not everyone here is a muppet. A lot of thoughtful people, a lot of interesting, friendly people, a lot of very curious people. Something I want that I find very curious but utterly delightful is this. You can see that. I don't need one at all, but they've designed these things. Look at the chimps, the motor chimp. Have they got a picture of these things? Oh, so cool. Everything here is an implication. You've got the famous Tesla Powerwall there. Home batteries. Battery power is what we're really talking about here, isn't it? Because batteries are the thing that have revolutionised the possibility of clean energy, the ability to store it. Because we've just been in a talk about solar power and home heat and the revolution that's coming there. And it's one thing to have... There's stairs there. It's one thing to have energy coming in off your roof. through the chemistry of silicon photovoltaic cells. It's another to be able to store it for when you actually need to use the power. And that is what has transformed the use of clean energy and the possibilities. As batteries have got more efficient, putting them now not just in cars but into your home means power when you need it. Much cheaper power, thank you. And out here on the concourse, well, unsurprisingly, there's an awful lot of Teslas around. And one of the chaps who spoke this morning just paused mid-technical question to say, look, I've got to say, humanly, as I was here this morning, I had a moment, he said. He said it more sort of technically than this, but he had a human moment, because sitting in the traffic jam to get into Silverstone's ground, he said every third car was electric. And for somebody working in the EV market and the clean power market, he said it was just suddenly touching to think of that. And we had a moment sitting out on the grass just out there for lunch, trying to find a square inch to eat. And all the cars driving past were, of course, Teslas. And we were sat at exhaust level on the grass just out there. Not worried at all. No horrible noises away from the track. No horrible smells. No, death-inducing toxic fumes. And that's just the beginning of why these make sense. One of the issues that's sort of coming out more and more is that just like second-hand clothing is green clothing because the cost of its carbon production is spent, so go buy second-hand clothes. Well, that's going to be true for everything, isn't it? Including cars. And there's a growing market for electrifying classic cars, which I find very exciting because I famously think most modern cars, the sort of cars that plebs like you and me can afford, are really bloody ugly things, really well-engineered, boringly well-engineered, soulless things. But cars from years ago had some character when they were more dangerous. So why not try and put the two together? Like this old Jag, it's an XJS. And I said to the lovely First Lady of Momo, coming here today might be like coming to a gallery. Not simply because there are some very pretty things here, but because it makes you see things differently. I'm going to come out of the showground and fully charged live. Say, wait, is that plug-in? What's going on under the bonnet? Because literally under this bonnet, it's not the old V8 or whatever they had in there. And it makes me reappreciate this old man's car from a whole new perspective. Now, I'm not really a petrol head, but I'm boy brain enough to quite enjoy cars. Both of us enjoy driving enormously, and we've been wrangling around what to do about our car and finally going electric in a way that we can afford. And one of the ways forward for more and more will be to convert old vehicles, and the older the easier they are to convert, like this little beat-up bus. And look round the back, look up its skirt, and it's not the old, whatever it was, two-stroke engine they used to have in there. Now, in front of me here is another car that, it's a car that I feel a bit torn about the fact they've electrified it, because this is one that makes a pretty noise. It's the Magnum Ferrari to you and me. Pretty no matter what. Actually, they've electrified it there, but this is the car that I want. It is a 1974 BMW, whatever they're called. Look at that. It's just... it's so pretty. To me, that's what a car should look like. And Lord knows what one of these that would be like. But look how gorgeous it is. I know it's just a thing, green conchy friends, but look what a beautiful piece of design this thing is. And to me, that's the weekend runabout. Now it's got an electric drive train. That's what a car should look like to me. And it's sort of symbolic of the idea of the future, that you're taking great design from the past that was meticulously thought out, but couldn't be realised in the way that we now can. And actually reinventing something that's a beautiful bit of design from years ago, but with a much more aware, connected view, That's the future. It's the technology with the heritage, it's the future with the past. I'm getting very poetic, but that's the point about the electric future. It is not denying the past, it's not sweeping it away, it is sort of bringing it more to life in many ways, and it's a mindset thing. And that's why I've got so excited doing Unsee The Future. It's helped me connect all the dots, the total circle of the challenge in front of us. And of course, the challenge in front of us now could not be more profound, more scary, more impossible seeming. But the challenge is also the opportunity to see the possibilities of the tech around us. And this is a different thing. It's not just like getting a 20th century fix to go faster. Faster, higher, bigger, better. That's modernist 20th century thinking that was very exciting but ultimately couldn't be sustained. 21st century thinking is where you... Here's an example that is very symbolic as well as literal. It is taking a great big power station that's a single point of failure, single point of generation, that powers so many 100,000 homes, and turning the homes themselves into composite parts of the generation. So when all houses have different sources of heat generation and energy generation from PV and heat pumps regulated through batteries, plugging cars into that mix, because this isn't just an energy use device, it's an energy generation device. When you've got dialogue between all the vehicles on the street and all the houses making the street with each other and with a central generation kind of, regulation, suddenly our power system is a network. And that transforms everything. But the exciting bit about that is that it transforms our outlook. And I've said in Unsee The Future that I think one of the most profound aspects of the electrification of everything is the mindset it will take to run it. Because changing our mindset to be able to run an electrified future is changing our mindset to become the one we need to run the whole planet. It's being aware. Smart meters. If you've got a smart meter, you're already on the road to the future. Why? Because you are now aware of exactly what it costs to run your life. And the 20th century model was, don't care. Put it on a credit card, get it down the pipe, it comes to me, I sign a form, I part with so much money, and that's it. 21st century is about you becoming aware of what it costs to run you. So the first thing that does is regulate how much you use. When you know what you're using, you'll think more about how much you need. So that will bring down not simply your costs, because that's why you do it, but also your footprint, the effect. And that, I think, has a knock-on effect to change why you use stuff and how you use stuff, and think about the cost in a bigger sense. And that just brings everything together in the minds of twerpy you and me. And that's what will save the goddamn planet. Don't tell anyone, but it's that attitude. So that's why something like Fully Charged is exciting. And actually, I would say finally, the thing that most excites me here is that there are so many people here. This isn't radical fringe, lefty, loony Marxist stuff. This is now looking forward. This is a whole group of it's a whole room full of normals here. And the fact that something as beautiful and exciting as that car can happen and become a normal thing on the high street. White Tesla S's with the taxis in Amsterdam. Loads of people have these cars. Beautiful bits of design. Look, it's a snip. It's only £64,000, £65,000. That's quite a cheap one. And people are buying them. Or the Tesla Model X, of course. And Tesla and Elon Musk did an awful lot to popularise this. There's a classic Tesla Roadster, which is the car that started his market and transformed everybody's thinking. And we know that in the next couple of years, so many new models of car are coming out from VW and all the others, and it's going to get exciting. But it's part of a bigger picture that is going to change everything if we are prepared to be involved. And it can be fun, and it can be retro, and it can be brand new, and it can be you and me. So Fully Charged is like a physical coming together of all the possibilities. When I was it felt like I was alone in my shed, in the studio over lunchtime between making Unsee The Future and music. I was not alone at all. It turns out there's a whole queue down the A43's worth of people who can't wait to find out more about the future. And the interesting thing is that when they said, put your hand up if you've got an EV, the guys there, it surprised me, but they were expecting most people to put their hand up. And of course, no. Most of us are on the cusp. And the majority of people put their hand up and said, we don't yet have an electric vehicle. You can bet your life there'll be an awful lot of orders out there from the car leasing companies by the time they go home today. And that's exciting because it's inclusive, and the positivity around this has been very, very humanising. So I would say well done, Fully Charged Live. Great work, Bobby Llewellyn. And you didn't have to do it in expensive, time-taking makeup either. Who knew that was possible? So the electrification of everything, there's so much to work out, but it's genuinely exciting. And I would say go and find out about whether your second car should become an electric vehicle. It just should. And the experience, even though I've still not driven one, can you believe, from all the testimony of people I've seen, the truth is that it just changes your brain. The whole experience of driving one, you go, oh yeah, this is much better. Why has nobody told us about this before? Yeah, Fully Charged Live, Unsee The Future, out on the road. The future, electrified. I should have thought the punchline. If I was a broadcaster, I'd have written this and come up with something good.